And there we go. On the air. There's little Tommy. There's Rusty Nailz. I'm Sully. It's on the air. Great to have you. Oh, my goodness.
We ready?
We're ready. I'm going to tell you, I'm excited for a number of reasons.
Give me a couple.
Well, one of which is one of my favorite radio programs that I listen to every single day when I'm not on the air. Because luckily I retired from talk radio several years ago, so now I'm just a business hack.
Yeah.
But my best part is that even though I'm on the morning show on Kogo, I'm only on the 20s and the 50s, so I've got a half hour in between.
Yeah.
So I listen to the show with Eddie and Thor, and guess who we have in studio today?
Who? Give me a
Skye.
guess. Skye.
Oh, we need to get Emily in at some point.
Yes.
We have to get Emily in at some point.
I'm going to have to find out.
Emily's kind of sassy.
Oh, yeah, she is.
And Skye, will tell you, is super smart. I've had her on as a guest when I was doing afternoons on
What if her parents were looking up when they named her?
Skye. Skye.
Well, here's a fact. Here's a fact about Eddie Papani and the show.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Eddie was my assistant.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Things have changed.
I know. At Star 100.7, Eddie was an assistant.
Now
a lot of guys that we have here from, that are now superstars in radio, board ops, they started out, they were just happened to be there, custodial work, just come in here, fill an hour.
Well, it's true. Jim Rome was my traffic guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how bad do I feel about myself now?
Emily from the show, before she got into radio, she worked at Dippin' Dots. She went from Dippin' Dots to
the
radio.
ice cream thing?
Yeah.
Those are weird, yeah.
Yep.
So that was her job?
Yeah.
Like, was that the last job she had before?
Yes.
Well, okay, here's a good question. What was I know what your last job was.
Wait a minute.
Wait, if I'm not mistaken, weren't you like a photographer before you got into radio?
Yeah, I was the photographer to the stations.
Wow.
So when KFMB would give a check away, of course, you needed the picture for the press. So I'd go out.
That was your job.
Yeah, and I'd have like Paul Palmer giving a check to the winner, and then the KFMB logo in the car. You had to have all the elements in the shot, and
And your job was actually to be the photographer.
Photographer, great gig too.
I would say that would still be a good gig, better than a radio gig. What was your last? Did you have a job? You got into radio when you were a teenager.
I got into radio when I was 17 years old. I was still in high school, but I did have a job right before radio. I was a busboy at Felipe's in Chula Vista, and I was a dishwasher at a place called Sambo's.
I was a dishwasher at the Hungry Hunter.
Wow.
That wasn't my last job before I got on the radio. I'm still at that job.
I did the gig for La Cocina up in Grossmont Center.
But it was a Hungry Hunter, and
that's funny.
Boy, I grew up really fast working at a restaurant as a teenager.
Some sassy cooks and
you got a
waitresses
22-year-old waiter and then a 40-year-old waiter, and those guys will teach you about life.
I refried the beans at this La Cocina, and that's where you just get this big vat of just boiled beans, and you have to sit there for like an hour and do this. But I got fed a lot. And then a friend came to visit.
Well, as a dishwasher, you get fed a lot, too, as a teenager.
Well, my friend comes to visit, and I go, I haven't seen him in a long time, man, and I need a week off. And I've been there 2 weeks, and they're like, no. And I went, then I quit.
Yeah.
So I left.
My last job before I got into radio, I got into radio while I was working. I ran an investment bank here in San Diego, and somebody asked me to come on as a guest.
Wow.
I still consult with NASDAQ companies. I still kind of have that job.
And the reason to get into radio was just for me to be in front of a microphone. I didn't care if it was on stage, at a radio station. I just had to be in front of a microphone.
The reason for me to get into radio, I used to play music. I was in a rock band at a high school, and I thought by being in radio, it would be easy to play my music.
Right. Just bring in your own little...
Let me tell you what, I work on the radio. I got a pretty popular band.
Yeah.
The only reason anybody hears my music is because you play it right here on KUSI.
That's good. And the videos...
I've talked to all my friends. I've talked to Eddie Papani. I've talked to... And Rickards plays some stuff on... And I go, hey, apparently it doesn't work that way anymore. Can't you just play what you want on those? Okay, the other reason is...
Wrap a cassette tape in a $100 bill.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that way. One of my favorite people in the whole world is Francella.
Yes.
Our weather person extraordinaire on the evening news. And she's... First of all, I met Francella just coming into... I'm in KUSI a few times a week.
Yeah.
And she and I just started rapping, and I realized... this girl is the most inquisitive. I mean, she must have been like a 60 Minutes reporter at some point.
She's great.
She's really great.
She's great in 2 languages too. I didn't know that. I figured, but boy, she can rattle it off. You pick one.
So we get to talk to Francella today. But can we get Skye in here? Can we say hi to Tommy? Get Skye, would you?
All right.
Yo, Skye.
There we go. Come on. Skye. There she is.
Let me see if my... Yeah, here. Wow, look at that. Coming down the hallway, all the way into the studio, Skye Williams. Yeah, Skye. I Are we supposed to use your last name, or is it just Skye?
Whatever you guys want. Most people just go with Skye.
It's her like me. The only time anybody says Skye Williams if it's in court or your mom's mad at you.
Oh,
right?
so true. So
right?
true.
I mean, if somebody calls me Bob, it's either you, my ex-wife, or I'm standing in front of a judge.
Yeah.
It's
a way to flip a switch on him.
Yeah.
So why are you named Skye? Your parents hippies from the 60s?
The funniest thing is my dad looks like the craziest hippie, drove a VW van, like
the 18 windows.
Yeah,
great.
to the point when my mom introduced him to her parents, she said he was an undercover cop in the drug
just
department.
to make up for the fact of how he looked?
Yeah, because she couldn't say, oh, he's a computer programmer. Like, clearly you wouldn't look like that.
No.
What's interesting is that's what computer programmers look like these days.
Now, but back in like the 70s when being a computer programmer wasn't a thing, it's like, no, this guy's clearly got some issues. So, but
I had a dad like that. My dad was exactly like that.
Really?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There was several times I was, I learned to appreciate Mexico because of my dad. He had an import-export business.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I can't tell you how many
hold
times,
off on this story.
I'll tell you how many times,
Your
at
Honor.
7 years old, for some reason, we're in a pickup truck and I'm carrying a gas can. And it's like, nobody ever asked anything until one time they did, and I realized, we had the same, I think we had the same, they probably hung out together. I'm pretty sure.
my dad probably bought stuff from your dad.
There it is.
I have a lot of questions for you, Skye.
Yes.
Because you're on the #1 morning radio show in San Diego, and that's not easy to do. So,
thank you. Yeah.
So I have a lot of questions to ask you.
Definitely.
All right, did you start? I know we're going to spend a lot of time with you in the program, but did you start on Rock 105? Was that your first? Were you like not on radio, now on Rock 105?
No. So I started up in Northern California in the Silicon Valley. Again, Dad was a computer programmer,
Yeah,
Silicon
Allegedly.
Valley. Yeah, allegedly.
Near Humboldt. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
just a touch south.
Yeah.
But so I started in radio up there as an intern, but was lucky enough to start on Morning Drive, which then got promoted. On Afternoon Drive, that got promoted to Morning Drive.
What station?
Then, KSJO up in San Jose,
I was going to say
California.
San Jose. Is that you? Was that them?
Yeah.
Yeah, what does that T-shirt say? Fresh from Detox?
Fresh from Detox, yeah.
Of course.
Yes, that was me.
It almost looks like you're like some sort of a dispatcher at that. It looks
Yeah,
pretty
that was her
official.
911 job prior to going on the radio.
Yeah, look at that keyboard. That was some hot technology back in 1999.
Okay, if you look exactly the same.
Thank you for saying that.
No, I'm
That's
not
what
kidding, but I
Tommy
see
said
you
off
every
the
day.
air.
And you, like I can tell you, I've seen you every day for many, many years, and you still look the same.
Yeah.
You're the
well,
one in the
thank
building
you.
that doesn't age.
Yeah.
Do you go into
There's
the
some
parlor?
ugly radio people.
So true. So true. Sully said that. That wasn't me.
No. And when you have your hair done, do you order the Kenny G?
No, I go straight for the Weird Al.
Yeah.
No,
The Weird Al look.
Yeah, the Weird Al. That's what I asked for. Yeah, no, naturally curly.
Naturally,
it's my gift.
Well, I can't wait to hear the whole story.
Oh yeah, because I have questions about KSJO because that's legendary like KGB.
Oh, no
and
doubt.
Rock 105.
Yes, long time.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're gonna spend some more time with Skye, just a little bit. Of Skye.
Okay,
Right.
thanks, guys.
Let's go get Francella in here.
There's some red wine back there from Napa. Help yourself.
Everybody.
Our next guest comes to us all the way from down the hall, Francella Perez.
There she is.
Of course, she's doing our weather. Here on KUSI, you're going to see her at night.
Francella Perez. There she is.
Francella Perez.
Look at that.
Huh?
Oh, it's so funny. We've got some pretty big names on this show, but we asked Francella more than any other person.
Please.
Like we probably, what do we got? 8 invitations out. We finally get a yes.
busy.
Finally.
That is not true.
Doesn't return our calls.
No.
That is
so
not
bad.
true. But it's so good to see you guys. I'm
Nice seeing
honored
you.
to be here.
Beautiful lady.
And to see you again. I remember when I met Rusty.
Oh, that was dangerous, wasn't it?
That was so
See the look on her face?
Wall. It was
yeah.
so funny.
I think I came in as Mark.
Yeah,
and scared her.
you did.
Yeah, that's great.
Can I ask you? Do you still run every day?
You know what? I used to run almost every day.
I know, because I used to hear you talk about running all the time, and then now I don't hear you talk about running
not so
anymore.
much. Now it's like twice a week, if I'm lucky.
All right.
I need to get back into it.
Only because I remember you talking about it in the mornings all the time.
Yeah,
And
I
you,
did. I
you-
used to
you
do
don't-
like a 5K every day,
Yeah.
almost.
Well, your whole rhythm changed. You were doing mornings, now you're at night, and
Now
that's
I'm
got
at
to
night.
throw off a little something.
Yeah, but I love the nights. It's great. I
Yeah.
actually get to sleep.
Wait, I have a question. All
right.
Because you're my favorite on KUSI. Yeah, I mean, watching you, it's like, poetry in motion.
There
And I mean that when you do the green screen stuff.
Oh,
How did it start for you? Where did you come from? Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
That's your real name?
Who are you? Well, I never thought I was going to be doing TV. It was not something that I planned.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in LA. I was born in Costa Rica.
Okay.
Love Costa Rica.
Costa
Pura
Rica.
Vida, baby.
Where?
Oh my gosh, you know where it's actually.
He knows one sentence.
That's all you need to know.
Where in
Pura
Costa Rica? Because I understand there's a San Diego, Costa Rica, if I'm not mistaken.
San Jose, which is the capital.
Okay.
So I was born there, and then I grew up in LA since I was like 10.
Yeah.
And
what did you want to be when you were in high school? Like when you grew up, you obviously didn't aspire to be a weather person. But.
No, I didn't. I just thought I was going to go to college. I went to UCLA for literature, English lit. So I read all the great works, Chaucer and Dickens.
Right.
And,
So you know when
Bronte,
to say whom and who. That's good.
all the greats, just.
But how do you
great
bounce
works.
from being a lit major to being on television?
I actually went and did a couple internships at the end of
Where?
my UCLA career. I did a couple internships at a PR firm, and I did not like it. So I went back to the Career Center at UCLA, and I came across a job that said Fox Sports Santa Monica.
No kidding.
And they said, we want UCLA alumni, and we are willing to train you. And that was that's what caught my eye.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to just go to a job and just get people coffee, or I
Right.
was too old for that.
Yeah,
I just
right.
needed to get to work, and I needed to learn something.
Too old
and-
for that. In her 20s,
Yeah.
I'm assuming?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I actually went and I got the internship at Fox Sports, which was Fox Sports World, Fox Sports Fox Sports Español, North Cone and South Cone. I mean, it was all the different,
And were you a sports head at the time?
No.
But wait.
No.
But wait, did someone, I'm going to assume someone said, Francella Perez, that young lady right there has the look.
No.
Nobody.
No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. I actually finished the internship. Right before I finished the internship, I actually went into one of the supervisors and talked to him. And I asked him for a job. Said, I need a full-time job. He's like, and right before I was going to ask him, he offered me the job.
Which was what?
Which was to work for Master Control and TOC, which is the Technical Operations Center. So basically, mostly Master Control.
So you were behind the scenes to
I was
start.
behind the scenes.
No kidding.
So at the time, there were no engineers. So we were the engineers at the time.
Which
so
means you're pushing the buttons, you're switching the cameras.
We were
you're-
actually switching, faxing out with, for the English Premier League. We had, EPL. We had the German, soccer league.
Wow.
Plenty of
we had
sports.
soccer.
So not only
Central
you're thrown
Mexican.
into a new career, but you're also thrown into sports at the same time.
Yes.
It wasn't just the career. You had to learn the sports too.
Absolutely. So, but it was awesome. I loved TOC. It was great.
So you know the kind of pain that the group is going through in the control room when you're out in front of the camera and that picture doesn't come up or something.
Yes.
This doesn't work.
Well, what's
Absolutely.
interesting about that is because, and you guys know this, because you have guests in studio. One of the reasons you get invited back to TV and radio is because you make it easy on the crew. Because the crew has a tough enough job as it is.
Yeah, you have to have reliable people that are going to be.
Well, and the point
doing
is
a
that
good job.
you having that perspective, considering you have the most technical job on television. I mean, literally, because I know I've seen you. You got to build your maps into a computer program. You got to set them all up. Then you got to work the thing.
Well, I think the hardest thing is being able to have full control of the computer, the weather computer, being able to create graphics that are.
Do you lean back on that first
visual.
job? Do you lean back on that first job to teach you some of that stuff?
There you are right there.
There she is.
Not
Look at that.
necessarily. I mean, yes, I do. I mean, everything
The
is a good
technical thing, though,
experience,
it's come natural for you.
the technical thing, I think so, sort of, a little bit. But going back to that, they had, I was working at Fox Sports. That was after Fox Sports, I went to Telemundo.
What?
Wow.
And they hired me to do sports sports production. Right. 6 months later, I had the weekend news anchor say, that's when I did. That's when they said, we need somebody for the weekend. Can you do weather? And my jaw just dropped. And I said, what do you mean, me? And she said, we need somebody for the weather. And I said, okay, well, I don't know. I never thought about it, but
Sure.
And I started practicing and I started getting on the chroma wall. And eventually 3 months later, the news director gave me the job.
Wow.
And after that, I went back to school for meteorology.
Okay, so wait a second. Okay,
Okay.
first of all, first time you're in front of what they call a cyclorama. It's called a sight. It's the green screen, right? First time you're in front of that thing. Because people have seen
it's backwards,
sort of
right?
behind the scenes and stuff. But that is not an easy thing. I mean, I can tell you sometimes when I point at charts on television, on Big Biz Show, I'm pointing at charts. I know to do this.
Yes.
Because that's just muscle memory. Because I'm pointing at a chart and it comes out okay on the screen.
Yeah.
How long, it takes forever to learn that, though.
It does. It's actually like the Matrix, like the like the movie, because you're like pointing at things that are not there.
Right.
You can pretend you're doing whatever you're doing, but yeah, it's almost like three-dimensional.
Because look at how perfect that arc was you just did.
It's three-dimensional, and you certainly have to eventually get the gist of it. And no.
Jared, replay that. I want to see the perfect arc sheet. Look at that.
And momentito, por favor. Could we bring up the audio because I think it is.
That's in Spanish.
Espanol. It's beautiful.
Okay, watch. Look at this perfect arc sheet has with her hand. You're look at it. Watch.
Sistema estará recogiendo prácticamente toda la semana esa humedad tropical, monzónica.
How do you? I mean, that is not easy.
That
to
was
do.
monsoon moisture that I was talking about. No, it's not. You have to. You really have to
That's
get the
Russ's
rhythm.
2 favorite words, right?
You have to get the rhythm of it, and you have to. You know, I learned not to point with my clicker because that was a no-no.
Wait a minute. So what's the clicker?
You have the clicker to fast forward the graphics, kind of like an alarm for the car.
Why didn't I know that?
So you knew that. You didn't know that.
I had no idea.
Sully, you go there all the time. You have a clicker.
So in your left hand's a clicker, in the right hand you're doing this.
Yes. I usually try not to
like playing the guitar, man.
To me, it's really annoying to see people point with the clicker.
And click.
You know, you have to have your hand. It's got to be free. You got to be able to.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Dave Scott, who is legendary
He's
at KUSI.
amazing. I love Dave Scott.
I actually had a conversation about weather, and I said, Dave, you know, watching you, you're really good at what you do. And he goes, Tommy, the person you need to see do weather is Francella Perez.
I love Dave
Is
Scott.
the
He's so
way
sweet.
Francella does weather is like no one else. And I didn't know what he meant because when I watch you, I'm seeing it as a viewer going, wow, that's pretty cool. But it takes a lot of work.
It takes a lot of work
To do that.
Okay,
that's a humbling. Thank you for that, and that's humbling. But
Yeah, I'll tell you what though.
yeah,
You make it look so easy. I want to dig into this. Also, I want to hear about. I want to hear some more about the trajectory of your career when you went from one to the next. Francella Perez, our guest on the air. There she is. Oh my goodness.
I want to do weather.
You do a great job. I will tell you, if there's anyone who can do weather.
I think you could definitely do weather. You did it with me on the Cormola.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And you said the words monsoon and moisture.
Monsoon and moisture.
And you
Yes.
said 75.
But no, it is. It requires, going back to that question, Tommy, it requires, oh, there we go, skill.
On stage again, it's quite a sight.
Hey, welcome back. I'm learning how to do weather from Francella.
Looking sharp.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I have the tie on.
Good,
And I wanted to point out that tomorrow it'll be 75, which is my favorite
With the
number.
clicker.
With the clicker.
Okay, well, maybe, yeah, there you go.
Oh, I point with this.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is going to change into this.
Yes.
Click. Oh, I don't even show the click.
No, you don't show. You just click it with,
And
you
you
know,
never
naturally.
want to do this and show the
You
bald spot, do
don't
you?
want to
Never
do that.
want to do that.
No.
Okay.
Although some people like to, do
Kinda
that.
like that? Don't do that. No,
No, I
you-
don't want to do
much
that.
better
right?
this way. Okay, I think we got it. San Diego, let's go back to the
Yes.
set.
All right.
San Diego weather. There you go. From KUSI. Oh.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
On the air.
Russ is awesome.
Can I just? I need to interrupt for a second and
What
just
is
say
it,
this.
Bob?
First of all, Russ was cutting his own hair for many, many months because you couldn't get into
my gal.
a salon.
She was
That's
busy.
awesome.
But then he stopped cutting his hair, and suddenly that shiny spot showed up.
The tie.
Okay,
Get out
just
of.
stop it there.
Huh?
Okay, that's good.
No, I have a shirt on.
Yeah. Wouldn't have been the first time.
Well,
when
you know,
could take
I
his shirt.
started doing my own nails.
Yeah.
See?
Wow.
I
Will you go
learned-
back? Will you go back
No.
to? Really?
I'm saving so much money. My husband's thrilled. He loves it. I just ordered the powders, the pink powders, white powders, the tips. I ordered the LED light.
You're not going back.
Well, why?
They look fantastic,
Right.
but because it takes a long time.
Hey,
It
listen.
does. It does. I'll just go
assuming.
back for my pedicures. That's about it.
Yeah.
But I've learned to do, And I cut my husband's hair during the pandemic too.
Will you let him go back to the?
Oh no, he'll definitely go back. He's not gonna stick with me now. He's not gonna stick with me.
Wait, hold on. Speaking of your husband and family, how long you been married?
25 years.
Holy
Wow. How'd you meet him?
Blessing. Through his cousin, through college. We're taking a class together, an English
UCLA.
class.
So what's it like for your kids, you know, when you're out in public, when people come up to you and say, Francella?
They're just like, it's normal.
Do you get a lot of
they
that? You get a lot of that, don't you?
I do get some of it. You know,
Yeah.
when I go to Costco, you know, people are like, hey, is that you? Or can I
Right.
take a photo? I think they grew up with me being on TV, so they don't think it's a big deal. They don't think I'm famous.
But
you
it is
know?
a big deal.
But, you know, their friends think it's a big deal because they're like, oh, your mom's on TV, you know.
See, my kids were not happy about this when I got on radio.
Yeah.
They were
Because
not?
their parents would listen to, well, I shouldn't say it. My kids' friends' parents would listen to me.
Right.
And then there would be, you know, and I would tell kid stories on the air because on radio, that's what you do. You don't have the opportunity that much on television, but on radio, you talk about your kids. And they'd get heated and they didn't like it at
Like,
all.
don't talk about me.
Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, because if you're going to tell a story on the radio about your kids, it's going to be something embarrassing.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Hey, tell us about this, because I heard from a few people that you used to be like an instructor, a fitness person.
Yes.
Like what?
I used to teach aerobics for
Really?
Jack Elaine's back in the day.
Oh yeah.
LA Fitness and 24-hour fitness. So I used to teach bodyworks and high impact,
Forget
which was
it.
all cardio.
High impact.
High impact, which is like a fast cardio.
High impact is when I fall to the floor.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah, I loved it. I did that for about 15 years.
Holy macaroni.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
How did you end up in that business? I want to hear.
That was just for fun. That was like not even a career. It was just more like for fun because I used to love working out.
Yeah.
Remember that movie with Jamie Lee Curtis and John Travolta about LA fitness? It was in LA and it was a fitness movie, and I can't remember the name of it.
I can't.
Who?
But it was about during the
I've
aerobics period.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever
Oh
seen
my
that
gosh.
one.
Jane Fonda workout
Yes,
video.
but it was
days.
Jamie Lee Curtis and John Travolta.
Staying
I've never
alive?
seen
No,
that one.
no, it's what's it called? Perfect. That's
Perfect.
called.
I gotta
Perfect.
see it.
You got to see
Absolutely.
Because when you say that you were when you say that you were doing that, in L.A.,
There you are there. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
all I can think of is you in the movie Perfect with John Travolta teaching an aerobics
I
class.
was just trying to follow them. She's an instructor.
Yeah.
It was a really cool class. That
By the
was
way-
hard to do though.
But that is.
What kind of music is that?
Well, we thought it was aerobic.
This is what she used to teach to. It's Olivia Newton-John.
Oh no, that was like I didn't use that music.
Okay, so wait a second.
it was like I'm not that old.
Yeah, but they still use that music.
No, it was fast beats. You know.
So wait a minute, that wasn't a fitness. That was you on KUSI. What was
That
it?
was KUSI.
What were you doing there?
We just had a fitness instructor.
Yeah.
You know, promoting her classes.
When I first saw
I had
this,
to think about it. I was like trying to think. Okay, is my arm, my feet. Can you tell I'm thinking about it?
when I first saw this before the video rolled, I thought those look like chocolate dipped churros.
That's what you asked. You're like, what is that?
What
You
is
know,
that
you
look
thought
like?
it was
Yeah.
food? No.
Hey, I got to ask you
I
something
love
about.
churros though, but no.
I got to ask you something about the KUSI thing because you do more than the weather there. And when
Yeah.
because I get to come in and
In the
just
morning, when I was in Good Morning San Diego, you saw
Yes.
everything, all the craziness that I had to do.
what? So do you enjoy that stuff? Or would you
I
rather be
did.
sitting there and interviewing a boring guy like me, or would you rather do stuff like that?
No,
outside?
I love what I do in the morning. I mean, I did the, weather, of course, produce my own graphics, produce my own segments, added video to my graphics, weather video to my weather
Yeah.
segment, traffic, thorough.
Oh my
Updated
gosh.
traffic.
I think I'd like to.
I didn't just leave it there and use it for hours in the same, same frame. And then interviews. I did an interview a day, so it was a full house. And then I got to do that fun stuff.
How about
Francella-
aerobic weather? Where you like to just point
Will
it.
you come back with us someday?
There we go.
Yes.
Look at that.
Thank you for
And
inviting me.
and she can dance.
Oh, I love salsa dancing.
Hello,
That's my jam right there.
Francella. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I feel honored.
Yes.
And by the way, just for the record, this is not the music that she used.
No, it's not.
Still,
It was more like this is say in the 90s.
Ricky Martin.
No, it was fast beat, like techno kind of music.
And just like magic, look who shows up in the guest slot.
Hey.
All right, let's go.
You ever see it sometimes on this program where you just don't feel worthy of the guests that we have?
Okay.
No, I'm not kidding.
You're a silly man.
That's not
Okay.
true, because if you think in terms of stuff, because I was not on the radio.
No.
5 years ago, I was just a radio listener.
Listening to
I was
me.
a guest, and somebody said, "Hey, you should be on the radio." And the next thing I was on the radio. But I've been listening to you guys in the mornings. Oh my gosh, 2011, 2012,
Well,
2013.
well, I've been doing it here in the mornings in San Diego since 2004.
Okay, so wow.
So only just 16 years.
morning.
Yeah,
Well-
Rock 105.3 for 16 years.
Since 1988. Just
wow.
to let you know.
Yeah, just throwing it out there.
Excuse me, is that a Hall of Fame? Is that the Hall of Fame? Is that a Hall of Fame
let me-
piece of ice?
let me
ice
say
sculpture
this.
Excuse
they
me,
sent?
because it's right in the way of Russ's.
Miami is.
Let me say this
I have a
about.
certificate of appreciation somewhere around here.
Oh, do you? I got nothing, you guys. I got nothing.
Come on.
Let
yeah,
me say
fortune.
this. Let me
What?
say this about Skye Williams and the show on Rock 105.3. About 4 years ago, when I was with Jeff and Jer, I would always look at the ratings. And the show, Eddie Papani, Thor, Skye, and everyone else that's on that show, you guys killed the ratings. And I was saying to myself, what are they doing? Like, what are they
It's
doing?
a show for every man.
Yeah,
and
but I
every
mean,
woman.
remember
That's what they're doing.
Ratings come and go,
Yes,
but you
yes.
guys were on top and still on top for years.
Yeah.
Why is that happening?
Give them the secret.
Seriously, no clue. Like seriously, if you ask me, I'd be like, yeah, 5 people listen. I don't know what I do for a living, but no, I think it's because we're normal. You know what I mean?
No, it is.
Like,
It's
we
a
don't-
super normal show. Like
Yeah.
it's not intimidating like some shows can be, because you listen to there's a lot of LA talk radio guys, and I'm like, I just feel stupid now.
Yeah. Well, and what we do, it's all about humor, right? And, it's the 4 of us, me, Eddie, Thor, and Emily. And the cool thing about us is nothing's off limits making fun wise. You know what I
Right,
mean?
sure.
Okay.
Because, as you guys know, working in the industry, a lot of people don't know this. You'll go into a room of people working together, and everybody knows there's one dude who can't take a joke.
No, true.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
you can't make fun of that person.
Right.
But our motto is if you dish it, then you got to take it. And I think that's how people are with their friends. So we hear that more and more again. You guys are our best friends.
Yeah.
We listen to you every morning. We've been through you guys having kids,
Yeah.
your kids' problems.
Well, it's a throwback mindset. I mean, the country used to have that. I kid you, you kid me, we're equal. Now it's like, I'm offended. Hashtag, I'm not buying your stuff. Shut up.
Okay, now I'm offended. You told me to shut up.
Yeah,
So that's today. That's
Yes.
the show today, celebrating 10 years together.
Yes, 10
10 years
years.
together.
In its
In this-
current iterations, 10
Yeah.
years.
Yes,
My goodness.
as
Now,
the show.
Take us back to San Jose,
Oh.
how it all
Bring us
started.
back to a gentler time.
Here it comes, the
Like-
music.
Oh.
I told you.
Yes. How did it all start?
Oh, yes, yes.
young Skye.
The year was
Little Skye. the
Little
opposite
Skye.
of Montana.
Yes, little Skye thought she was going to change the world. She was a sociology major, and she was going to get into social work. But my husband listened to a rock radio station that had just got a brand new afternoon DJ. And I was coming home every day, waitressing, going to college, and, telling my now husband, boyfriend at the time, I got to do this internship to graduate. There's the women's shelter. There's the food bank.
Yeah, all that.
And my now husband said to me, he goes, well, I listened to this DJ on the rock station. He said he's looking for an intern. He's like, that would be so much more fun than the food bank, don't you think?
And who was that?
His name was Mikey. At the time, it was called The Mikey Show. And so I'm like, well, okay. I don't know how that's going to fit the sociology model, but you know what? I'll go for it. And if I get it, I'll figure out how to work the system and get the college credit for it. So I went through the audition with a whole bunch of guys and girls who wanted this spot. spot, and I came out on top, and it was, which is very rare, an on-air internship. So, I mean...
Oh, so you weren't doing promotions and you weren't doing back...
No, I was interning as basically the co-host of an afternoon drive show in San Jose, San Francisco.
Nice.
At the time, I had no clue how lucky I was, and I was so green that, again, it goes back to that just being normal.
Yeah,
so when he would ask me a question, whereas most girls would be like, oh my goodness, you know,
You're like, I don't know.
how am I going to look the best? I'd be like, I don't know. You know, me and my husband just had this fight, and that's where we're at, and that's the deal.
And
you
since
know?
you're so honest, what is your social?
Wait a minute. So who was on the show that first early configuration?
It was just me and Mikey.
Just you two?
Yes, it was just me and
So
Mikey.
he just wants somebody to bounce off of?
Yes,
Because I can tell you as a talk radio person who's
Yes.
been by myself for 3 hours a day for 25 years, it's way better. It's way better when you got people to bounce off of, because in your mind's eye, when you're doing talk radio by yourself, you are literally talking to a microphone, and you're not sure if the wires are going anywhere outside the building.
Like, is anyone listening? Is this on?
Right.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
So it's just you two.
Yeah.
Now, when did someone say, hey, why don't you bring someone else in? Like, how did your show grow?
We just, again, you get the rating success, the dollars start coming in, the budget starts growing, and, people just started getting added, and then, the morning slot eventually became available at that station, and
You literally were doing college credit, and then this is all you know.
Yeah, I was going to go work at the food bank, you guys. So, any day now,
So
I'm going to go
get
apply
over there.
there. Yeah.
Wait a minute. So was it your husband that said, hey, honey, maybe you should ask to get paid? Like, how did that happen?
From the intern thing.
How did that happen?
Yeah, that was tough because, I don't even know if this is actually making sense, but I was waitressing full-time, going to college full-time, and at the radio station full-time.
All right, hold on there.
There's not enough time.
Hold on there. Hold on.
It gets better.
That's 180% of the day. Wait a minute.
Skye Williams,
Yes.
Rock 105.3, The Show.
Yeah. How about the name of your first dog? Briefly.
Trying to get passwords.
Nothing.
I want to hear the rest of the story, and I don't know why it's called The Show. I'm sure
Yes.
The Show. On the air. Coming up. Stand by. We're back in a minute.
Well, I'll tell you what. This lockdown has really shuffled the list of what is important to us now, am I right? Show the graphic. Shaving drops as drinking goes up, that's a good combo. The big question is, how soon after waking up is it okay to take a nap?
Oh, we've got radio royalty. Skye Williams.
Yes.
Rock
Look at
105. No, what is that?
That's her family. She
Oh,
comes
yeah.
from a
Wait
large...
a minute. That's 1,000. That's 3,000. That's thousands of people.
Yeah.
What is that?
We decided to do a 10th anniversary show celebrating
Oh, you think?
10 years
Did you see
being
the amount of people there?
the show, and so we got a great venue, and turns out we sold that thing out. We didn't even, we were kind of nervous. I mean, there's a lot of seats, like you said, thousands of seats, and our listeners are amazing. They think of us as friends. They're our friends, and
Did you
they
get
all
to
showed
interact?
up.
Did you get to interact with them when you were there? Did you get to go out there and
Yeah,
press the
so
flesh
we did a meet and greet before,
Yeah.
pictures, all that fun stuff. And then we did like a full-on show where
Yeah.
we were up on stage and went through all the memories of the last 10 years as the show.
Now, 10 years, that's a big deal. It's hard to do that for a morning radio show, and you guys did it. Is there an actual date that you celebrate? Like, was there that date? That is
what's
the
the
first
date?
date?
Well, it was weird because we kind of... Our first official show as the show was the first of the year.
Great.
Big transitions went down over that
So it's
Christmas
like- it was-
break, and then you come back.
happens
Everyone's gone.
sometimes
It's like,
in radio.
Hey, where'd they move to?
Yeah.
So it's like the 3rd, the 2nd, the 5th, whenever we came back to work that year, right?
Yeah, but honestly, our listeners are truly such a part of our lives that because we knew all this stuff was going on behind the scenes when we kind of transitioned to become the show, that we came in on our Christmas break and did a single hour-long broadcast just to, hey, changes are coming.
Yeah.
This is life. Here we are. We're still here for you. And that was 10 years ago.
When you meet the listener that you talk to all the time on the phone, and finally you meet him, like, wow, you are nothing like I pictured you. Isn't that fun to break that seal?
Well, I hear that a lot. It's like, you look nothing like I thought. And then we both pause, and I go, I'm going to take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. So wait a minute.
Yeah.
So from the Mikey Show, which was very popular, to the show.
Oh, yeah.
Was it a hard transition? Because all of a sudden that guy's not there anymore. How was those first few days as the show?
Work-wise, honestly, not a huge transition because we've been working hard and busting our rears, whether it was our name on the show or not. So nothing changed for us. We've been doing the same job the whole entire time. But what the hardest part was explaining to, the listener, our family, because I can't tell you how many times somebody said to me at that time 10 years ago, I feel like my parents are getting a divorce. When you listen to a radio show and, they break up, they go different ways, they kind of reinvent themselves and, and you're not privy to everything.
Happened. That's what happened with me and Scooter.
Is that it?
Anybody?
One of you failed a test.
Anybody remember?
It wasn't.
No, I don't know what that means. No. Sorry, Sully.
Nobody knows what that means.
Great reference.
Is it true? Is it accurate to say that Eddie Papani leads the show?
Yeah, he's.
How has it been for him? Because
But it's not like a bossy lead. It's he guys are very democratic about it.
Yes.
But he had to be put in that position, and he ran with it. How was it for him? Because he's looking after the show.
Yeah, honestly, he didn't want the position at first because he was the producer for the longest time.
Yeah.
I mean, behind the scenes, again, nobody knew. Right. He's writing all the interview questions, he's doing everything and feeding it to the host at the time. Nobody knows that, but he was like, no, I'm the producer. I'm not the host. So actually, at the first year or so of the show, he wasn't the official host. Yeah. Wow. But then it got to the point of okay, it's clear what your role is. You're amazing at it.
Oh, good.
Let's just do it. And we've been doing it that way ever since. And Sully's right. It's not like he's the host or the man.
But it is the show. Because Papani sounds like a Hawaiian restaurant to me.
Really? You get your pineapple pizza there. It's like Hawaiian Italian.
Yeah, that's I can go both ways.
Now let me ask you this. With the show, many people have been on that show. From Ashley to others.
Yes.
But there's one thing that's always been there, and that's you. How come?
Can't get rid of
me and Eddie. We won't go anywhere.
But I mean, why is that? Why are you always a for sure thing? You know what? Skye's staying.
Well, because she's talented.
I know,
she's smart.
But I want to ask you, why do you think that is?
That's a crazy question. I've never really thought about it, honestly. I mean, my gut reaction is because I'm a mother, because I have a mortgage, because I...
Motivated.
Yeah, and a lot of the people who have come and gone on the show, they're younger. You know what I mean? They have aspirations of I'm going to be the next YouTube star, or I want to go live in the town where my favorite ball team is. I'm not in that place. I want to make this work. I want this to be my career, and I want to do this forever and be a part of San Diego forever.
And sometimes when you get to the top of a situation and you're asked to kind of back down a little bit, at that point in the career, they ever say, you're the host now, and now we just need you to kind of...
That may or may not have happened to me right after the Recall Fellner campaign, and they brought in a politician to co-host with me.
Yeah, it can happen.
Well, let me now.
As long as you're willing.
Tell me what does P1 mean? Because you guys have the best
you call
listeners.
your listeners P1s. What is P1?
Okay, so P1, you guys have probably heard it in a meeting with a consultant, but it's actually Priority 1. It's a radio term that's used
that's the Arbitron thing.
In the industry. That means we're your first preset. We are your priority station. And so we just happen, again, we talk normal, we talk about everything. So at one point we were just talking about radio and then our program director was like, well, you need more P1s. And then somebody's like, hey, what does that mean? Yeah. We explained it.
And you decided to name them P1s.
We didn't. Without even prompting, phone call. Hey, it's P1 Joe. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, I see,
Oh, hey, it's P1 Steve. And then they started giving themselves wacky names.
Shout out to one of those P1s who loves you, Jason Doring.
Oh, P1 Jason.
Yeah,
yes.
he loves you, Skye.
Yeah, he's the
Can I
best.
be wait a second. I want to be a P1. I'm going to call in.
Well, you just listen.
Here's the thing is, if I call in, they'll never let me pass the damn screen. I'll never get to be a P1.
You're an O1. You're this close.
He just walks out the hallway. What are you doing calling the show? Like she walks out. Up there. Stand by.
Am I the ninth caller?
Woke up late one.
Hey, On the Air is on the air. You know, one of our favorite things to do on our last segment is talk about the bits.
We ready?
Let me tell you why I love talking this
Are we
segment.
back?
This is why I love this segment, because you know, you did the hugs and rainbows, puppy dog,
Hugs,
bits
rainbows, and
with, you know, a human flag made out of a teddy bear.
Yes,
And you did, you know, pick my shorts,
Smell my
or
hand.
smell my hand,
Yeah.
or you know,
Name that riff.
Yeah.
I've worked with both kinds of guys.
Do you know what I know? do
Honestly.
you know what mine is? Mine's like
What?
buy, sell, or hold. They give me stock symbols.
money,
I got
guys.
no in my
Nothing.
business. Like there's no bits.
No.
Yeah.
Like honestly, we did a segment one time on the Big Biz Show called Buy, Sell, or Hold, and it was very popular. But after a while, I was like, God, it was just an hour of people asking me about stock symbols. What do you think
Should
about,
I buy this
What do
company?
you think about Apple? What do you, it's like, okay, this is not fun. So you guys have a number of really great bits.
Yeah, we have a lot of
What's
fun.
your least favorite?
My least favorite, and I know this is a setup, Sully. I could tell by that smile on your face. Look at you. Such an angel.
I've been ripping off Rickards and Papani for years. See what I just did there?
Here it
I
comes.
even got the music going, the whole thing.
Yep,
We need a
ramp
new
it up.
one.
Yes, my least favorite bit / our listeners' favorite bit is called Skye's Drive-Through Surprise.
I can see this.
What is it? What is it?
Okay, so
I know what it is.
You all,
I don't.
You all have a friend like Skye who is a picky eater, and
oh, God.
it annoys you, right?
Totally.
Because you like food and enjoy food,
And you
then,
order it, and it comes to your table, and you eat it.
Yeah.
Skye, do you ever get the steak burger?
No, I don't get the steak
Without
burger.
onions?
Yeah.
And the carrots can't be too. Shut up.
Did you ever get the prime rib sandwich?
No, I don't. And when I do eat meat, I am the chick who gets the filet butterfly well done.
Well, with ketchup on the side.
Oh yeah. Every chef in town hates me.
That's the belt.
Like seriously. So anyway, I'm that person.
So wait a second.
So I hate pretty much every food. I live on like rice and bagels. I'm a horrible example for my daughter. Like horrible
How
example.
about a rice bagel? I think I just got something. Yeah.
Bam.
Live on rice and bagels.
Yeah. So
But there's
surprise.
white rice, there's brown rice.
yeah.
There's so many.
So the show decided, you know what would be great is if we send our phone screener during the show, because, you know, who wants to eat cold food? They're so sweet. Make it hot and fresh.
Right.
Send him through different drive-thrus.
Yeah.
It could be taco shop. It can be McDonald's, Jack, whatever. And then he gets up to the window and he goes, I would like the exact same order as the car in front of me.
Boy.
It's a mystery. No one
Really?
knows.
Wow.
And I have to take a bite out of every single thing in the bag.
Yeah.
One time I ate a burrito that I thought I lucked out. I looked at it. I'm like, this looks
it's a
like
burrito.
a breakfast burrito.
A breakfast burrito.
Right. We got eggs. We got potatoes.
What
Easy.
else was in there?
Uh-oh.
It was a shrimp burrito at 8 a.m. and I don't eat seafood. Like seafood to me, no. Yeah,
That sounds gross.
came right back out on the
Did you
console.
ever get a good one, like a Krispy Kreme donut or something? Was it something good ever?
Somebody ordered something nice up
No, like I got like a hash brown and a coffee once, or something like
And that
that.
was a
Like
safe-
super
that was a safe
basic.
bet?
Yeah, super basic. So yeah, I hate that, and of course, all our listeners love it and want us to do it as often as possible.
Well, you're a mom. You're a mom. How do you deal with the picky? Do you have picky eater kids? too?
Yeah.
I got one kid, and she's horrendous, and and honestly, I support it because how can where do I stand?
Oh, there
to say
she is
anything?
there.
Oh yeah, there's my little one. She's 10.
What a great
When
idea.
was that?
this
Now, when
is.
was that taken?
Right.
Right before the whole entire country shut down in
kidding.
Hawaii. Yeah, we were lucky enough. Disney sent us to the Alani Resort in Hawaii
Hello.
to do a broadcast there
Wow.
for a week.
I
Yeah.
love those
What's your
gigs.
talent fee? I'm
My
just kidding.
television, right?
A room.
hotel room out in Lonnie.
They have talent fees?
Yeah.
See, AM radio, I'm on the wrong part of the dial.
That's it.
Hey, what's cool about that is you just said your daughter's 10 years old. She's as old as the show.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's true. And you know, and
So you celebrated that contract,
yes,
did you?
Yes. Well, somebody got 1 month maternity leave, and we know why, because we were going through a big transition. But you know, I actually struggled to get pregnant. It took us 4 years to have
And of
that.
course, the second you start a new show,
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Well, but the bigger thing is, again, we share everything with our listeners. So now I'll be in Vaughn's, and someone will walk up to my daughter and be like, "Is this her? Is this the miracle?"
Right.
You know, and my daughter's like, "Oh."
That's a great thing, though. You get to share that with people, because there's a lot of people listening to you that are going through the same exact thing.
But people,
right?
if you're one of those people that do that, don't do that. It freaks the kid out.
Sweet, little creepy.
Yeah,
Sweet,
little creepy. Here's an idea I have for you, though.
What do you got?
Kid, picky
Sweet
eater.
Little Creepy, by the way, is Russ's rap band.
Sweet Little Creepy. Throwing it down. I think that if you have a picky eater, your kid next to you in the drive-up window, just order, we're going to have what the car in front of us had, and she's going to eat it.
Yeah, tell my daughter, start doing it with my daughter. Yeah.
You'll get her.
Yeah.
Hey, with you being so relatable and so loved by your P1s, when people see you out on the street, I'm going to assume some even cry. I bet you.
Yes,
Oh, here we go.
Yes, and a lot of times it's with the fertility issue, because I shared that, and that is something that's a kind of shameful secret a lot of people carry around and don't talk about. So
Yeah. What a coincidence, though.
So I've had a lot of teary hugs again in Vaughn's.
Where are you recognized the
nice.
most?
Ooh,
Frozen foods or produce?
No, I have a spot. No, I have a spot. Do you have a spot where you recognize the most?
No.
I can tell you, it's in a bar, because you're always, what's the word I'm looking for? In a bar. Where are you recognized most?
Jeez,
I have a spot that I always get to see.
Well, what is it?
The
grocery
gas
store.
station. Every freaking time I'm at a gas station, I'll have somebody walk up.
Well, it's because you drive that car that says "I'm Sully" on it. I mean,
I'm going to pull a trailer.
Where do you get recognized?
probably the grocery store. I mean, honestly, I'm a homebody, so I don't go out all that much.
You not go clubbing?
No, please.
You
Yeah.
listen to Skye, you'll know that was the stupidest
Hey,
question.
Skye, do you play pickleball?
Pickleball? I feel like this is an HR lawsuit waiting to happen.
Oh, wow.
I don't know
That's
what
right,
that
Russ. You
is.
did that. Skye, will you come back and hang out with us?
Anytime.
I want to get the whole show in here, and I'll just shut up and let him do the show.
Yeah.
I just Tom Sawyer that thing. I'll get those guys to come in.
Yeah.
We'll just shut up, and that's it.
There you go.
Eddie Papani, Thor, Emily, and Skye Williams.
Listen to him on Rock 105.3 every single morning. That does it for us. Thank you so much for
Of
coming.
course, anytime.
Little Tommy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Russ's website's russisfunny.com, because
Well, Russ'sFatandBald.com was taken.
Tell me you ain't gonna do. Gonna miss the love from your